Well, welcome, Nicole, to WG Content's Unscripted. It's so nice to have you here today.
It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I was just telling Nicole, we're really going off scripted because I've been displaced from my office. I've got work going on all around my house and trying to find a quiet spot. This seemed to be maybe the best for us today, but so I appreciate the patience as I navigate a new space for our conversation. But for those that don't know Nicole, Nicole Kurz is the VP of Precision Marketing with Digital Health Strategies. And Nicole and I met many years ago when she was at AdventHealth. So she's had a really nice career doing lots of different things in healthcare, and most recently at Digital Health Strategies. And you've been there now for a couple of years, is that right?
Yeah, nearly 2 years.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to our unscripted conversation. She knows the drill. She's going to be asked a few questions, and we're going to get to know Nicole a little bit better. You ready?
Well, here's hoping I'm entertaining. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know you will be. And this is an entertaining question, one that I think we can all appreciate. If you could erase one chore from your life forever, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. So this is such a funny one. I hate emptying the dishwasher. I don't mind loading it. I don't
Yeah.
mind washing dishes, but like the actual act of emptying the dishwasher, I will procrastinate it forever. And I will actually like pull the clean dishes out of the dishwasher for various meals to make there be less to empty.
Yeah.
So that's and I feel like that's such a first
Yeah.
world chore too, right? Like how
Yeah.
fortunate am I to have a dishwasher? But that is
Yeah.
absolutely one that I would erase
Yeah.
from the list forever.
Okay, so I have two follow-up questions to that. So,
Of course.
do you have a really like organized way that you load the dishwasher? And if somebody else doesn't do the same way you do it, that it bothers you?
Yes. In fact, so my partner Chris and I, we have divided that responsibility
Yeah.
very intentionally because there is only one right way to load the dishwasher, and it's my way, and
Agreed.
therefore I
Yeah.
must be the one to do it. So he just
Yeah.
sort of removed himself from that equation, but he is our designated emptier. So we've
Okay.
really been conquered quite well.
Yeah, I am so particular, and I'm like one of those people that like really like to load it. I'm not, I just really want it full before I run the dishwasher. So the second question, this is something I discovered a few years ago, and I don't know if many people know this, but do you know that you're supposed to put the dishwasher pod in, like just throw it into the basin of the dishwasher versus putting it in that little slot? Did you know that?
I do know that because if you put
Yeah.
in the blood, it doesn't always dissolve fully and it'll
Right.
clog your drain. And I
Yeah.
know that because I've had my drain clogged.
Yes. Yeah. And I was at someone's house. They had a repairman, and then he was like, telling us, like, this is what people do all the time. They don't realize, but the way you're supposed to do it is just throw it into the dishwasher versus put it in that little thing. So now that's all I do. So
I
it looks
say,
like
fun
you and I
fact
are
and
in the know. Maybe we'll
yes,
take from other
learn
people.
from our mistakes.
That's right. That's right. All right. So here's your next question. What's
Okay.
food that you'll never say no to?
I'm such a food person. Like there's a running joke in my friend group that like I don't even have to weigh in on where we go to eat because I will eat most anything.
Yeah.
I feel like sushi is a pretty
Hmm.
solid choice for me. I'll never say no to a sushi night. I really like Thai too. So those are probably my big two.
All right. What's the first concert you ever went to, and would you go again today? This will age us, right?
I know, and so I was a little bit of a late bloomer. So going to things like concerts, it wasn't until like late high school that it wasn't that I was a late bloomer. I just wasn't really allowed. My parents were pretty
Yeah.
strict.
Yeah.
But I had a group of girlfriends in high school and we went and saw NSYNC. And that was my
Mm,
first concert. And it
yeah.
was actually not only a concert, but one of the girls drove and it was up in Tampa, which was like an hour
Oh,
away. It was a
yeah.
very big deal. And it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
I like to think my musical taste has matured a little bit since,
So maybe
15
not go back to
years
NSYNC,
old.
but
I mean, I would probably do it again for the nostalgia
yeah.
factor,
Yeah.
but not necessarily because I'm still a
Yeah.
big fan. Though I do still know every word to every
Yeah.
song. Like some things you can't.
All right. What TV show or movie defined your childhood?
Childhood, this isn't one TV show, but our family was a really big TGIF Friday Night Lineup
Mm-hmm.
family. So like Family Matters and Step by Step and Boy Meets World and like that
Oh
Friday night
yeah,
like
that whole
block. It
lineup.
was four TV
Yeah,
shows, and I know like they rotated some of them out over time, but like Steve Urkel was an icon, and Friday nights were the family night. And I remember
yeah,
when I was much younger, like that was the one night that I was allowed to stay up until
yeah,
10 to watch all four of the shows in the
yeah.
block. And I
Oh,
don't remember. I feel like Suzanne Summers was in one of the shows that was in
oh.
that rotation. I don't remember which, but she was like my mom really didn't like her, and so that was like not a favorite show of her.
Mhm.
And I remember it
Well,
being
Suzanne Summers was Three's Company, so that was
was she?
like,
Okay, so
yeah.
maybe I'm
So
not.
maybe
Maybe
she
I'm
was
thinking
at.
of the wrong thing.
Oh, maybe she came back for another show. I mean,
I might
I
have.
don't know
I'm
what.
trying to. I wish I had done a little Google search, but before we hopped on, but I think she was in like a.
Like she was maybe the mom of
Yeah,
one
that's
of
what I
those shows.
think. I
Well,
think it was during the Thigh Master
she
days.
was
My mom was not
iconic
a
wherever
fan. I
she
think she was
was.
personally victimized by the Thigh Master. So,
Right. All right. What's one small thing that instantly makes your day better?
so I have a 19-year-old cat who
Oh,
he's my partner's cat, and of course
okay.
he and I have been together for quite a while now. But I am very much the spare human. Like I am acceptable, but very rarely preferred. So
Hmm.
what makes my day is when it's me. Like if he hops up on the couch and like climbs over
Yeah.
Chris to get into my lap,
Yeah.
that's like my
You're
crowning
winning.
achievement. And it
Yeah.
happens, once a week. Like he's an orange cat too, and he
Yeah.
very much has that personality. So it's not a frequent occurrence, but when it does, it lifts
Yeah.
my
Oh, I
spirits.
love doing those kind of tests, like where you take your dog and like everyone in the family lines up and you're like, who's the dog going to choose or the cat or whatever. But I heard you have an orange cat. I heard I think what's a fact maybe a few weeks ago, because one of our friends has an orange cat and they said, do you know orange cats are only males? Did you know that?
I don't think they're only males,
Or
but
like
maybe
only, what is the statistic? Well, let's Google that one too, because there's something about like maybe orange cats can only be male or something like that. So we'll have to find out. We'll dig into that one.
I think there's a stat around calico cats too, where they're like 97% either male or female. Of
Female
course,
or something. Yeah.
I don't know the stat. I did poor research to come into this
We got to find out
unscripted.
about Suzanne Summers and we got to find out about orange cats. Okay. We have our
Oh my
homework.
gosh, there's going to be someone listening to this that's like, how did they not know this?
I know this is where this is so much fun. Okay, so this is your last question, and then we'll move into some
Okay.
fun would you rathers. What's a completely useless talent that you're secretly proud of?
I don't think any of my talents are super useless.
If it's a talent, you're using it for some reason for sure.
I know. I'm like, I'm really good at writing slide headlines, which is a skill
Oh,
I had to build over time, but
okay.
I don't think it's useless. Like, I think it's kind of a
Oh,
superpower, especially
yeah,
working in like
yeah,
an agency strategy
for
type role. You've
sure.
got to be able to write a good headline, but
Yeah.
I am often the one in meetings where we've got, a 3 sentence paragraph as a slide headline. And I'm like, are we trying to say ba ba ba? And everyone's like, oh, that would have taken me all day, or I
Yeah.
would have had to use Gemini to get there. And I'm like, yes, I'm a genius. Let me just
Yeah. Well,
type it
you've
up.
always, I remember when I first met you, you had that nice talent about being able to synthesize like a lot of information into just like one kind of like bullet point or headline. So I would say that's not useless and that's very useful.
I
So
would agree.
thank
I
you
think
for sharing
that's
that
a
talent.
superpower of a strategist, right?
That's right. That's right. Okay. So here we go. Here's some fun would you rather questions.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather always take the scenic route or always get to your destination twice as fast?
I hate always scenic.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather have unlimited tickets to live concerts or unlimited tickets to live sporting events?
Concerts.
Okay.
That was easy.
Yeah, I think so. So for me, yeah, I'd probably pick concerts too. All right. Would you rather be famous for inventing something useful or famous for creating something beautiful?
Useful.
Yeah, good one. All right. Would you rather work on one big dream project or a dozen smaller passion projects?
A dozen smaller. I am best when multitasking.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Me too. Okay, so our last question and one we're asking everyone is just what's bringing you joy these days? Aside from winning over your cat's affection, what else brings you a joy?
Right? That is so much joy. I've had a lot of change personally and professionally in the last
Mhm.
couple of years, and it's been really interesting because had you asked me, I mean, how often were we asked in our 20s when interviewing and stuff, like what does 10 years from now look like? What does 20 years from now look like? I never would have said where I'm at right now. I never would have
Mhm.
said sitting in an executive leadership team role at a, emerging tech-enabled
Mhm.
services company. I never would have said as much travel as I'm doing. But all of those things literally just kind of give me life every day. I'm having so much fun in a role where I get to both contribute and learn and grow. I'm having so much fun personally, traveling the US, traveling the world, getting to see things I've never seen before and
Yeah.
do things I've never done and eat really weird things from time to time, but
Yeah.
it's all part of the process. So I think what brings me a lot of joy is just kind of like finding my place
Hmm. Yeah.
in like who I'm meant to be. And
Yeah.
this is so cheesy kind of, but I feel like every
Not
day
at
I'm becoming
all.
a little bit
Yeah.
more
I
of
mean,
myself, and that's really cool.
yeah, that's very cool. And I think the fact that you recognize that and can honor that, that that's what really is bringing you joy, I think is a really beautiful thing. So I'm so
Well,
happy for you. And it's been so fun to catch up with you. I can't believe so many years have gone by.
I know it
Are
feels
you?
wild, and so many years have gone by, and we're still connected.
I
Like I
know.
feel the world is so small
Yeah.
in healthcare and content and marketing that
Yeah.
these connections hold true.
Yeah. And that's why I love doing these sorts of things because I think, we're more than just the work that we do. We've all become, have these relationships. So it's so good to stay in touch with you. Are you planning on going to any conferences? Do you guys do that? Like go to any of the
We do. We were
Yeah.
at HMPS last year. We'll be
Okay.
there this year. I know there's some big like the Hospital Foundation and fundraising
Hmm. Hmm.
conferences in the fall, so
Okay.
we'll have some
You'll go to
presence
that.
there.
Okay.
So yeah, so we'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, we will. Thanks again. So nice to see you. Take
Nice
care.
to see you too. Alrighty.